they need to create a data, something in this format. This format means in a table format. So what you need to do is, like what I told you, okay, you highlight the data. Okay, maybe I'll just put another row over here. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to data. Can you see the data over here? Maybe you can type number 2 if you can see the data. So the first step is you click on the data ribbon. The second step is you go to get and transform data. Okay, this is the section name, get and transform data. And this one is a table. So what you can do is you can click from table / range. Can you see this icon from table / range? Maybe you can type number 3 if you can see from table. Okay, so you can actually click this. So once you click this, you'll notice that a box will appear. So can you see this box? If you can see this box, maybe you can type number 4 in the chat box. Okay, I see some of you are typing 24. It's interesting. Okay, so you just click OK, and then you will be navigated to Power Query Editor. All right. So now if you notice, our data is a bit messy. That means we have null, we have Arsenal, we have forecast. It's a bit messy. It's not in a proper tabular format. So what I'm going to do is, the first step is I want to transpose this data. Okay, so you go to transform. Can you see the transform ribbon? If you can see the transform ribbon, maybe you can type number 5 in the chat box. Okay, there's only 4 ribbons. Transform. Okay, good. So once you go to transform, can you see the icon called transpose? If you can see transpose, maybe you can type number 7 in the chat box. 7 in Malay language means 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click transpose, and you will notice that the data is presented in a different format. Okay, again I repeat. So initially, if you notice over here, your data has the OPEX and CAPEX appear in the first column, and then you have Arsenal, forecast data, actual data, all in this particular format. All right, so what I'm going to do is I want to go to transform, and I want to click on transpose. So once I click transpose, so now this is your original data. You have the football clubs, you have forecast actual, you have OPEX, you have CAPEX. All right, so what I'm going to do is, as you can see in column number 3, we have Arsenal, null, Chelsea, null, Liverpool, null. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press right click. So when I press right click, can you see the word fill? If you can see the word fill, maybe you can type number 1 in the chat box. Okay, what I did is I just press right click, and then the menu will appear. Once the menu appear, there's a word called fill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill down. When I press fill down, you will notice that instead of null, it shows Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. So now if you notice, you have from null, it becomes perfect, right? Okay, so now you notice we have OPEX and we have CAPEX. So now I'm going to go to home. Okay, in the home section, can you see the icon called use first row as headers? Can you see this icon? Maybe you can type number 3 if you can see this icon. Okay, what does it mean by use first row as headers? That means now in this row, you have null, 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 OPEX, CAPEX. So what happens if I press use first row as header? You will notice that it will become OPEX and CAPEX over here. Okay, can you see the difference? If you can see the difference, maybe you can type number 4 in the chat box. Okay, maybe I'll just repeat again, just in case for some of you who have lost. Okay, what happened was, if just say you notice over here, okay, wait, let me click this. Okay, so initially the data we have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, column 6. So what I'm going to do is, I just want to remove this null, and I want the OPEX and CAPEX to appear on the column. So what I do is, I use the first row as headers. Okay, what happened is, this first row will appear as the header. So I just click this, and then you will notice that the OPEX and CAPEX has appeared automatically. Okay, but then if you notice over here, this is an unnecessary column because column 1 and column 2 is null. So what I can do is I just press shift button, I click this so that both of this column is highlighted, and then I right click. When I right click, can you see remove column? If you can see remove column, maybe you can type number 6 in the checkbox. Okay, so once I press remove column, you will notice that the column will be deleted. So now you have football clubs, you have forecast actual, you have OPEX and CAPEX. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this as well and click this, and then I go to transform and I go to unpivot column. So now you notice that this is how your data. That means from OPEX and CAPEX, now it appears in one row. So now you can actually change this maybe to football column, football club, sorry. And then you can actually change this to type. This one you can call as items. And this one is currency. So if you're from Malaysia, maybe you can put ringgit Malaysia. If you say you're from India, you can put Indian rupees. So basically, initially your data is in a different format, but now you can change it to a tabular format. So with this, you can do a pivot table. You can actually do a dashboard as well. So I go to home and I click close and load. So once I click this, you will notice now your data is appear in this format. Okay, so do you notice a difference? Initially the data is in this format, but now the data is this format. So if you notice some difference, maybe you can type yes in the chat box.